have going on.
Great. Thank you so much, Rosalda. Thank you, Hannah, for being in the member spotlight. We do have our members for June's meeting, but if you are interested and would like to be in the member spotlight, we welcome that. Just get in touch with me and we'll make it happen. Thank you.
Thanks, Tino. Thanks, Hannah. And thanks, Rosaura. I am still having some technical difficulties, so I am going to ask Tino to take over the meeting for a few minutes while I try to resolve this, and I will try to be back as quick as I can. So Tino, can you please introduce Mavis Lloyd from the Dallas Parks Department? She's going to talk about the Youth All Access Pass, and then we'll go to Barbie from Office of Cultural Affairs, talk about International Music Day.
Okay, so Mavis, I believe you are on the call.
Oh, yes, I am.
Yes, excellent. Yeah. All right, well, the floor is yours. Thank you for joining us. Everyone, this is Mavis with Dallas Parks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, and look forward to working with each of you. I am the new TOPS manager, Teens Organized and Prepared for Success. And we are kicking off 2 programs this summer. Our late night recreation for our teens to come in on Friday nights from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 14 of our recreation centers. And they'll be engaged in gaming, in sports, in food, in nutrition, different kinds of things that keep them interested and engaged in a safe place on Friday nights. We also will be kicking off our trial run or a pilot program of our Youth Access Passes for the summer. And what the Youth Access Pass is going to do, it's going to provide some opportunities for youth and for families to experience some of our great cultural and arts programs in the city that they may not have ever been exposed to because they haven't had the opportunity to visit or hear about. And they are going to be the Arboretum, Shakespeare in Dallas, the Trinity River Audubon, Bahama Beach, Office of Cultural Affairs, the zoo, and our Southern Skates. So we're going to be piloting that program where young people will get that off that pass. It's kind of like, you used to see the Boy Scout passes, they'll tear off and they'll be able to come and get access depending on what each of those organizations offering is going to be. It's going to be a key fob is what it's going to be. And it'll be for July through August. And then we'll look at coming back in the fall to see what other offerings we want to help our young people and our families in our community. So if you are part of this first round, we'll have that conversation in August again to see what you would like to be able to offer to our community to experience some of your wonderful organizations. Because we want to continue to be able to say, these are the things that are going to be going on. These are the opportunities that you have to experience in our community. And just want to make sure that we give everyone the opportunity to see what great arts and culture we have in the city of Dallas.
Mavis, on that Youth Access Pass, can anybody in the city of Dallas apply for that? And if so, is there a fee?
No, what they would do is when we give our recreation cards to our young people come in and get their free recreation cards to be able to access the programs and services, they will be given this access pass. The youth will be given an access pass. So along with their membership card, they'll be able to get the access pass. So no charge at all.
And is there more information on the parks website about the 14 rec centers that are participating in the late night?
Yes, and I'll get that information out to you, where they're going to be and the time, and I'll get the banner out where we can be able to see, everybody can see where they're going to be, and it will be on they're updating the website now, so we'll be able to see those, but I'll make sure that you can get that information and send it out to everyone.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Look forward to connecting with each of you.
Absolutely. Do you have a few moments in case anybody else has questions?
I do.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Just kind of raise your hand or wave in the screen so we can see you. Or if you think of a question later, just, send it to us and we'll make sure that Mavis gets it. I don't see
Sounds good.
anybody's hand up, Mavis, so I think we're okay.
Okay, thank you. And if anything comes up, please feel free to get in touch with me.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
Okay, bye-bye.
So Hannah, what do we have next up?
I think we're gonna move on over to Barbie to get an
Yeah.
update about their program.
Excellent. Barbara, take it away.
Hey, I saw on the agenda you have a bullet for the grants. Did you want me to talk about that as well, or just jump
Sure.
into Make Music Day?
I have
Yeah.
a one pager about the grants if you want me to share it.
Please, let me
That
see.
was sent over.
Let me see what was sent over, basically.
There we go. So
Oh,
grant
perfect.
calls.
All right, perfect. So this is just kind of,
Oh,
this
super.
is the time of year where all of our annual programs start opening up, and that'll be COP, Arts Activate Round 1, I believe is next, and then it jumps into the CAP program, and then we go back to Round 2 of Arts Activate, and then Round 3 of Arts Activate. So 3 of them will be open in around the June month. The COP is applications are open now. But then Arts Activate in the CAP one will be open. Oh, it's June. I'm sorry. May is now. Isn't that crazy that we're at the end of May? It's flying by so quickly. I'm so sorry. But they'll open in June. So those will be open throughout the summer. And then we'll close for a little bit, and we'll be jumping into Round 2 of Arts Activate in the fall, and then Round 3 at the very, very end of the year. And we do have a further breakdown of the open calls, and we're hoping to, so these are the ones that are just with our like funding programs that are within OAC. We do have some calls that may be opening up soon with cultural centers, and they have their own timelines for that. But we will hopefully share those on our grants and call page, which is linked at the bottom of this, which should have all the grants and calls for all of OAC. So hopefully we'll add some stuff on there later during the summer. So I'm excited that the cultural centers are all slowly opening up again. So any questions about grants and calls for OAC?
I have a question about Arts Activate,
Yes.
and I'm just curious if, I mean, I see the application period opens at the end of June. Have there been any, what are they called, like town halls or like info sessions about the process this year?
Yes, they hold info sessions for every round. Usually 2, and if not a second info session, then they'll hold a Spanish language office hours or a Spanish language info session. And sometimes even 3 with the bilingual info sessions and some office hours as well. So I'm not sure if they have set up the info sessions for Arts Activate yet for each of the rounds. But I know that they will, and that will also be announced on our on the Arts Activate pages. So we have our web pages, but we also announce stuff on our Facebook as well anytime we have an info session.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I guess I'll jump into Make Music Day now. I'm going to share my screen.
Is it letting you?
Maybe. Hold on.
Supposed to, but it looks like they did an update. So who knows these days?
Actually, it will not let me.
Okay.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
I'm making you co-host just to make that easier because it's not notifying me.
Oh, I'll have to quit. So it won't let me share.
It's not even giving me, is it letting you ask to share? Because it's not notifying me.
Let's see. Nope, no notification. Let me try now. Hold on. Let's see if I did. Oh, okay. I was able to get that updated on my end. So now I can share now. So
Okay,
let me.
great.
Okay. So you should see a PowerPoint screen. Let me slideshow this. Okay, do we see how it started on there?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so I just have a brief summary here of Make Music Day and just where it started. But it is a nationally celebrated holiday. I interpret it as kind of like a day version of Arts Month, where Arts Month is kind of like an awareness month of the arts. Well, this is just an awareness holiday of music, and it's called Make Music Day. And so we're really just, similar to Arts Month, where if you have an event, you are bringing awareness to arts, and please put it on our website. It's a similar idea where it's not really like a music festival or a large event, but everyone is invited to join in and share and share themselves making music. So how it works into kind of organizing all of that is every city in the US at least has their own independently organized kind of Make Music Day. And what they do is they put together a website. We're putting it together on our end. And it's similar to Space Finder also too, to bring in something else here. It's similar to Space Finder, where we encourage people to use the website almost like a dating site. Musicians and venues can register themselves and then search through the listings and find each other in order to make arrangements for June 21st, which is when Make Music Day is. And then I have images here on what the website looks like. So you have, once people register and if it's populated, it tends to look exactly like a Google map. And then on the right-hand side, you can see venues that are available. If you're an artist who wants to find a spot to make music that day, that's what would show up on the left-hand side. So it's like Shelley's Hot Dogs, Chipotle. And so that's the interactive map and kind of how it looks like. Let me go to the next page. So I have here, and I helped this, again, this really helped me kind of get a better grasp on what it was, because we are late to the game. I think this got on their radar a week or 2 weeks ago. And so the 4 key steps to bring this holiday to your city. And so it's kind of just a really good way of figuring out, okay, what really are we doing here? And so identify a local champion for the event. And it talks about how in different cities, they have different leaders who kind of push forth Make Music Day, raise funds for basic expenses. This is basically musicians and venues getting together and pulling together, their own thing. We don't necessarily have to provide anything except for on step 3, where we talk about making the permits as easy as possible and kind of, encouraging something that's simple and smooth. And then lastly, we talk about promote the holiday and having public awareness drive this event. And I think that that's kind of the main thing that we would focus on, which is promoting it and bringing awareness and making sure, facilitating really, making sure artists and venues are easily connected if they have any issues with the website, things like that. And so this is where we are in the process. So we're here learning about Make Music Day. We're putting together the Make Music Day website. It's Make Music Day Dallas. We have OAC centers that are booking people for that day, and Rhonda with the Community Arts Pop-Up Cultural Center having some pop-up performances as well. But we have to launch the website, so we can start that matchmaking process. So basically where everyone comes in, and this is my ask, is we want to start populating that as quickly as possible, because again, we are late to the game. So we want to kind of initiate a lot of these connections by reaching out to groups and to venues that you all may know that are wanting to participate. And on bullet number 3, it basically says, all kinds of music is welcome, all kinds of spaces are welcome. We really want people to participate in any way that they can. So we've also included the hashtag Make Music Dallas, where if people cannot physically go somewhere and make music, we can encourage them to share online with that hashtag Make Music Dallas. So if you know of possible connections and musicians and artists and venues that would be willing to participate and can help me reach out to them, please let me know so we can do that. And that's all I have, I believe. Yes, that is.
Great. Thank you so much, Barbara.
If that makes sense.
Any questions for Barbara on grants or? Here's a question from Emily. Can this OAC info, especially Make Music Day info, be shared with us? No. Next question. No, just kidding. Of course, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Barbara, would like a generic letter directing people to the website, could that be created so that we can send to people that we know, our networks, that we can cut and paste and put into newsletters, and that kind of would just funnel back to you and the website?
Yeah, are you meaning like a cold call almost type letter where you can email people and be like, hey,
Yeah.
we're doing this, would you be willing to participate? Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
I did so many cold calls for Space Finder Dallas, so this is definitely my territory. So I will absolutely talk to David and see what we can draft up so we can send to you guys, because that's really the really big hump that we're trying to overcome here. Again, I've said this like 3 times, but because we are late to the game, we really want to get this started and have this website launched by the website itself is going to be up by next week. So we can have that live, but we really need kind of a collective effort to promote the website and registering on the website, but also, you know, talking about Make Music Day, June 21st, the day itself, and what that is. So I can provide you with, you know, that cold call letter, and with more info on Make Music Day itself. Just I don't know if the concept was kind of hard to grasp, but for me, whenever I first started, even the concept of Arts Month was hard to grasp. So I can definitely put together like a bullet point version of, or even this slide, if y'all feel like this was a helpful way to kind of break it down on what Make Music Day really is. So
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much.
yeah, I'll put together a folder for y'all. Thank you.
And, you know, maybe we can even put this on our website, like sort of like we did with Arts Month Dallas, Arts Vote Dallas, so that
Yeah.
people can just download.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna have to talk to David as well, just because, you know, I'm chasing after them at this point. And so having something on our website as well, something that we can direct everybody to, because people are going to be more familiar with the OAC website and with DACAC and on everything. So anywhere that we can put this so we can redirect to something that's basically going to be a new concept to Dallas would be helpful.
Okay, great. Do you know if anybody around us city-wise are participating?
Not yet. I
Okay.
don't know. I would have to ask David. Let me see.
Because didn't y'all say that Houston and Austin and
Yes. So
some of the
Austin
big cities?
does. Austin does. They haven't shared anything. So pretty much all the cities that are participating, they started sharing information and kind of building up to it around the middle of May, maybe if not the beginning of May. You know, they're sharing stuff now. Make Music Austin has been silent since last year. So I'm not sure what they're doing, if they're doing anything at all this year. So I don't know, I'd have to look into that, but any questions you have and anything, any paths that you can lead me down, you know, send those questions over to me and I'll start searching for sure.
Okay, great, thank you. So any questions more, because we're gonna move on then to our next topic. And Chris, would you be able to give us a legislative update?
Sure.
Awesome.
The legislature is still going on, but in terms of the budget, one of the big items that we, of course, all have been working on, aside from the regular budget for the Texas Commission on the Arts, which is in good shape, but was the cultural district funding. If you recall, the House actually had it in the budget for $10 million. And this is over a 2 years. So it's 5 million 1 year, 5 million the next. The legislature does 2-year budgets. So we had it for 10 million. However, the Senate had it in for 6 million. And if you recall, this budget was originally written when economically things were in much worse shape. So we've been working to get the Senate version to where it matches, and none of this, oh, we'll find a place in the middle. We've been very consistent about pushing for the full 10 million. And what ended up happening was it went into budget reconciliation. And when everything got done, it basically, the Senate side, everything, it was all back at $10 million. So we got that fully funded this year. It still has to get through the governor's office, but considering that economically the state is in much better shape, we don't think there would be any line item veto from the governor. So everybody feels pretty good about that. So congratulations on that. That's the basic update on there. However, I will throw in that today, the city council, one of the things that we have been doing in terms of the arts district itself, the arts district has a public improvement district it is the Clyde Warren Park Dallas Arts District Public Improvement District. Most public improvement districts are done at 7-year levels, or sometimes they're longer. For instance, the TPID, the tourism PID, is a longer, I think it's 10 or 12 years, has a longer one, but we are up for renewal this year, and we went for a 10-year renewal. And that is an important source of revenue for both Clyde Warren Park and the Dallas Arts District organization in terms of marketing the Dallas Arts District. And that just literally flew through a unanimous vote. It went through so quickly, if you had blinked, you would have missed the item. It had no opposition, nobody signed up in opposition. So those of us who were signed up to speak, we all realized know when to stop selling. And so we all decided we weren't going to speak. We had one per person speak for all of us, and it just sailed through. So Councilmember Blewett did a great job working everybody on the council, and it's done. So congratulations to the Arts District. And we've got 2 great legislative notches that we have successfully buckled. So yeah, that'll be it.
That's awesome. Yep. Thank you so much, Chris. I do have a question. So I believe Dan Patrick had put forth a bill that any sports team receiving state funds needed to have the national anthem played. Do you know if that also includes like just any organization that receives state funding, like arts organizations?
Not that I know of, and I'm not even sure that got through.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
But I also know there was a whole bunch of the so-called red meat legislation, which had to do with transgender, which had to do with a whole slew of things that, yeah. And so that a lot of that died last night, because if they hadn't gotten it through on the House side, it couldn't have gotten through. And so there was a lot of pissing match back and forth last night. However, the lieutenant governor is now calling for those items to be brought up in a special session.
I saw that.
And who knows? The governor's up for re-election soon, and so that may happen.
Vote.
Yeah. Anyway, we got our funding. That's what we needed and what we wanted, and we'll see what happens after this.
Thank you so much, Chris. Any questions? From anyone? Okay, so as Joanna mentioned before, our brown bag topic is still going to be determined, as is the date. But I would encourage you all, if there's some idea for a brown bag that you think would be good, just shoot an email to us, anybody on the steering committee, or Joanna, Hannah, and just let it, say, hey, here's a kernel of an idea for a brown bag. That's how we got our NFT discussion going. And, you know, we've had some other discussions like branding and what have you. So just, you know, you may have an idea and it may be somebody else that likes it as well. So just don't be afraid to share that.
Tino?
Yeah.
I'll throw in a little, I didn't realize we were down at the end. I thought you were asking about other questions that had to do with legislative. So I'll throw in a little shameless promotion, not so shameless, but a lot of you may remember a long time ago, we used to do a thing called patio sessions where we featured a lot of local bands, arts organizations and stuff. Well, we're starting that up again. We're going to do it the third Thursday of every month. Well, last Thursday we got rained out. So we're actually doing one tomorrow. And these, at least to start, are featuring very local singer-songwriters. And if any of you have been on our at-home, our YouTube site, there's a program called Listen. And this is, we have kind of done up close and personal concerts in the recording studio at the Wiley with a lot of these. Some of them are Booker T students, some of them are former Booker T students, some of them are young professionals, and it's country, it's blues. I mean, these guys are phenomenal. And we're going to be featuring them in these patio sessions as well. We're paying them. We paid them for the recordings. We're paying them for this. And so tomorrow is a young lady, Demoye. Oh, I'm going to screw up her last name, so I'll stick with Demoye right now. But she's also the one who recorded the music for when the chandelier goes up. And so if you hear the music now, when the chandelier, she actually recorded that. But she's a great performer. It's going to be out at the Center Cafe outside. It's free. Just come out, get a cocktail, sit down and enjoy it. And we hope you can come to the other ones. So we're sorry it got rained out last week, but please come and do that. And we have elevator project this weekend too. So anyway, thank you.
Good, that's great. Any other announcements? Anybody want to share? We got 20 minutes. This goes until 5. Come on, you guys. All right, well, Hannah, Joanna, trying to identify Chris, Rhiannon, other steering committee members, anything that we need to throw out there? Drew, got anything?
Tino, it's Joanna. I'm back now.
Oh, welcome back.
I want to apologize, everybody. I do not know what's going on, but I suspect I had a security update on my computer today, and I suspect I've been having trouble ever since. So I think that's what caused it. Real quick, I wanted to give a very quick update on some of the COVID guidelines for facilities. I know most particularly everybody's probably interested in the Moody and the Majestic, and they are now allowing public performances, but only at 30% capacity with social distancing. And since, of course, they're a government-owned facility, they cannot mandate masks, but they do recommend them. And then last week, I was on a call with a lot of the other folks that have facilities, so I was going to just quickly tell you kind of where things are headed. With the Salmon Center, we're still only marginally open. We're going to be open 2 days a week for office hours, Tuesdays and Fridays. We are allowing rehearsals, live streams, and things like that, but not public performances yet. And we're hoping maybe in a couple weeks to loosen that up. So if you do have things you need to do at the Salmon Center, please contact Michael and he will at least get a hold set up for you. And we're hoping that as things continue to improve, we can open up further. I know the museums have been open. The DMA, masks are recommended but not required. They don't require any proof of vaccination. Everyone's on the honor system, but their staff is masked if they are out in in meeting people. Back of house does not have to wear a mask unless they're in public areas. Most of their staff is vaccinated. I know, let's see, the Holocaust Museum has not changed their mask policy or any of their other policies. For AdPAC, and Chris, you might want to weigh in on this. They're at 35% capacity. No change yet to mask policy. Most of the staff is vaccinated. Outside, no mask required, although still highly recommended. And we'll be making changes along with all the rest of us as we see things going forward. And Chris, do you have anything to add to that?
No, we've increased our capacity inside. We were at about 25%, and we've been able to do it up to 35, I think, ish. And we've been able to do that just by identifying, and by that's adding about 200 seats in the WindSpear. So we were at about 600, 400, at about 400 something. We were able to get it up to 600 something. And the way we've been able to do it, we've still got people socially distanced. But as we looked at our layout, we realized, when you skip every other row and you're spacing people, there's still space in there. So we've been able to find the holes, but everybody's still got space around. So we've been making sure that Titus has been adding seats so they can add people in, and we're letting everyone know you've still got space. We're not packing everyone in on top of you. I mean, theoretically we could, but we're just not comfortable doing that at this point. Outside, we haven't changed, but I suspect we will. We're online to do full 100% capacity in September with the 50th anniversary tour of America. But I suspect we're going to end up there a lot sooner than that. And by the way, in terms of local arts organizations using Strauss Square, we are still extending our basic, internally we call it live and local strategy, but it is basically, we've been waiving the rent for most local groups, and all they've been doing is paying hard costs. And we kind of got off to it was a slower start, but this spring we've just packed people in. And as you know, some of it's been, the OAC, we had the CAP showcase or spotlight that was there, which was great. I think there were 8 groups that performed. The block party was fantastic. That was 8 shows, and that was just amazing. And there were a ton of people for that. And we've had a whole bunch of organizations individually rent it, not just for performances, but also for fundraisers. Verdigree's got another fundraiser. Of course, Taka had the Silver Cup luncheon out there. And again, for the most part, we're doing these rent-free, and the groups are just covering their hard costs. And that hasn't, we're continuing to do that. So if you're, I know everyone's kind of trying to get back into Moody, which is great. We certainly want that. But if you feel like you still got something you want to be doing, feel free to check and see if we've got room on the calendar, because we have really enjoyed. Strauss Square has never been busier, and we love it. So anyway, thanks, Joanna.
Thanks, Chris. And I have a few more. The Perot is moving to masks not required if vaccinated, but they will require masks for their summer camps. Let's see, the Bishop Arts Theater is keeping their mask order in place for now. 100% staff is vaccinated. They've had no issues or pushback from any of the public. And they did have a full capacity event last week. It was a rental. And then in their summer camps, all of their teaching artists will be masked, but they'll be at 50% capacity. Dallas Theater Center, now they are requiring their staff to have they have a mandatory vaccination policy. I think this is driven by their union agreements. As we all know, all of the unions around theater have had very restrictive policies and guidelines. So they don't require masks on the performers while performing. They're still doing testing and so on. They don't know yet what capacity will look like for the fall. And the Sixth Floor Museum, no change to their current policy. Staff is masked, visitors must be masked, and they're looking at what everyone else is doing. So I guess we're all just kind of keeping up with each other on this. And so those are all the updates I have for masking and COVID guidelines for the facilities that I've spoken with. And so I'll try to keep up with that and just keep getting information out as it comes in on where the facilities are at with capacity and mask guidelines. So any questions on all that? Hello?
I don't see anybody's hand up or waving.
No,
so-
but thank you for keeping on top of it, Joanna.
Sure. So I think that's all that we have, unless anyone else has anything to share.
Joanna, it's me again, Tino. I see Jeff Rain from Uptown Players, which has reminded me that June is Pride Month. And the reason why it's Jeff has reminded me that it's Pride Month is because Uptown is going to be in performance with Dallas Pride, and then they're also going to participate in the Dallas Arts District Pride, which is the first weekend of June and the third weekend of June. There are a lot of arts organizations, a lot of artists who are going to be performing throughout June. So we're really excited. Hope you all can try to catch something. That didn't sound right. Hope you guys can catch some performances during June. Band and Coro is going to be at Strauss Square on Saturday night, I believe. So lots going on.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I think we're done. So thank you, everybody, and I apologize again for the technical problems.
Thank you, Joanna. Thanks, Hannah, Drew.
Thank
Thank you all. Thanks, Rosada.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hannah.
Bye-bye.
After that, you'll select it just right